Your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Today we are doing live Hekate free readings for you guys, but guess what else? Three, two, one. Hello, everybody on TikTok. Welcome to the live stream. We are doing free readings today, so do not be afraid if you missed it. You can always watch back. Today we will be doing readings from one of my favorite decks. This is my particular deck that I use to connect with Hekate specifically, and I absolutely love how inclusive it is. So all of you guys are gonna love this one today, okay? You guys are gonna love this one, I have a feeling. So this is the deck, and it's a really good one. It's called, hold on, I'll tell you guys. It's called Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle Deck. Okay, so this one is one of my favorites. It's my favorite deck to work with in terms of connecting with Hekate. So we will be doing some Hekate readings today. I'm super excited. Hello, Aurora. Welcome to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. Welcome, Silver Moon, to the Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. Hey, everybody over here on TikTok. Welcome to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather, my darlings. Yes, sorry, I thought there was something was wrong. I thought so. I actually do think something's wrong. What is going on in here? I think the booklet, is this book, what is happening? This is a mess, okay? Okay, I think there's a book that's stuck in here. That's really embarrassing. Is that what's happening? Oh my gosh, this is happening on live. That's really embarrassing. Oh, there we go. Surprise. Okay, so yeah, this deck, I love this deck. It's super inclusive and it has like little sneaksy peeksies from these mythical creatures. So if you guys like mythical creatures, you're gonna love today's live stream, okay? We're doing free readings, so please go ahead and ask your questions. I am just going to cleanse this deck really quick. We will be using some labradorite to cleanse the deck today. I love working with labradorite to cleanse my deck, especially with Hekate. So let's check this out. I call upon Hekate to give us answers and messages to all the witches in the chat today who might need your witchy guidance, Mother Hekate. So all hail Hekate today. Thank you guys so much for joining the live stream. You really didn't have to, but let's get going. I think we are gonna start over here on the YouTubes. We'll get to you guys. We'll be like alternating for questions between YouTube and TikTok, so please do not worry about it. It says, thank you for doing this. Of course, Vex Hyper. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, by the way. Cool. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Asks, what does my next year look like with my new job adventure and love life? I will be working on a ship. On a ship? They're working on a ship, you guys. That's crazy. Leah, missed your lives. I would love to go live more than I normally do, but it is just we're still working out the kinks with all of like the live streaming, so I can have more of a regular schedule. But I will be in touch with my mentors. I'll be in touch with my managers about that, okay? So cool. Let's find out. What does my next year look like? Let's see, Hekate, for cool, what does his next, or what does their, excuse me, I don't know pronouns. I'm not trying to misgender anybody, please forgive me. It says, cool says, what's my next year look like with my new job, adventure, and love life, Hekate? Let us see. This deck is a little big for my hand, so if I drop the deck, that's why. Okay. This deck, I don't particularly read jumping cards. I read the ones that feel correct, okay? So we got card number 21, Clover. It says, release your guilt, okay? So cool. Hekate is really saying, I'm really getting this like vibe from Hekate that your new adventure in the next year is one of releasing your guilt. I'm getting the idea of don't be guilty to share your feelings, don't be guilty to share your magic, don't be guilty to share yourself. I'm also hearing don't be guilty of feeling close to people if you connect with them in a friendship. And look, see, when you look at this right here, It looks to me like there's two girls maybe having a date together. I love how inclusive this deck is, you guys. I don't know if I said what the name of this deck is. It's called Believe in Your Own Magic by Amanda Lovelace, and I really absolutely recommend getting this deck if you haven't already. But what I'm really getting here is that, like, be unapologetically yourself and stop feeling guilty for that. Whatever that means to you, it's incredibly important that you express yourself. And release your guilt about expressing yourself for the way that you are. So that is what I have to say for all of you out there. I feel like this message resonated with a lot of us. But for you, cool, I think it's like literally like your username, like keep it cool is what I'm hearing. Hekate's like, keep it cool, girlfriend. And I'm also hearing read the bottom of the deck for you. It says mural, be your own first priority. So I think when it comes to this, essentially in your new year, no matter what aspect of your life, cool, I think it all comes down to being your first priority. And like, if it's not your own first priority, then like, if you're not your own first priority, then guess who falls and fails and loses the game, right? So if you put yourself first and you are not guilty about it, I think you're gonna find that this is going to be the best year that you have ever had. So I hope that that really helped, and a special thank you to Hekate for helping me channel that message. I really do appreciate that. But we are going to be moving over onto TikTok. So do any of y'all over in the TikTok land have any questions for Hekate and I today? When you can get to me later, can you ask what she wants me to know? Leia, are you still in the chat? I will absolutely ask for you. I also wanted to say a special thank you to everybody for, yes, Leia, I'll pull for you in just a second. I wanted to say a special thank you to everybody who has been so supportive of my Hekate's channeled message. I wanted to say that it is something that was a little outside of my comfort zone over here on TikTok, but you guys have absolutely killed it, and you guys have totally spoken. You want more Hekate content. I'm hearing you loud and clear. Tell you a joke. Well, I think your username's the joke, so have a good day. These newts. Thank you for that laugh. I needed that one today. But yeah, so if you guys are interested in checking out my channeled message from Hekate over on YouTube, it is actually over on my TikTok page. The link to it is in the description of my YouTube page. So please go check that out if you're interested. But let's see, Leah. Let's see. It says, can you ask what she wants me to know? Leia. Yeah, I remember you said Leia like Star Wars, my bad. I see an E and I go E. I don't know why. It just is something that happens in my brain. I don't know why. But anyway, Leia, let's see. What does Hekate want you to know? I would absolutely love to know, Hekate. Oh, by the way, I just have to say that the back of these cards have crowns on them. Like, excuse me, queen, pop off. Like, I love this deck. It's like the perfect deck for connecting with Hekate. But here we go. It says, what does Hekate say today for Leia? What do you want her to know? I'm thinking one more shuffle, and then we'll pull the one. That's the one. So I pull cards differently in every deck. This one's a little bit different than the mermaid messages. Oof. So Leia, this is what we got for you. It says 18, let them go. Tree, let them go. Okay. This is what I'm getting for you in today's reading, Leia. I'm hearing that there is a huge, there's a huge upcoming grief cycle for you, and please, I'm gonna see, when I need you guys to know that when I work with Hekate, she is a dark feminine goddess, okay? Hekate is gonna tell you some hard truths, and she's gonna like basically give you grim warnings sometimes if you need to. I think it's about trauma. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm getting the sense that there's a grief cycle that you need to go through if you have not already. And Hekate is letting me know that if you need to lean on her to go through that grief cycle, she will be there for you. You just have to believe. You just have to believe that she can be, you know, like a guiding figure for you. She doesn't even have to be, it's not like she's like, you're overlord and you have to bow down. Like, no, like I'm saying, like, we can always work with our goddesses like they are our sisters too. I work a lot with my goddesses in my spirit team as if they are my sisterhood, more than if they are like a spirit sisterhood, if that makes sense, more than anything else. So it's not like when I light candles for them, when I give them offerings, like the best way I can describe working with Hekate is that I call upon her like a big sister, right? Big scary sister. And she's the one who gives me the advice to do the shit that I need to be doing, right? And it says, tree, let them go. The way that she looks in the card depiction, you can really tell that there's just there's a lot of things that need to be set ablaze, heavy in your heart, that are weighing you down. There's a dark sky, but it's full of shooting stars. Do you know what that means, Leia? That means that just because there's darkness doesn't mean that there's not shooting stars for you to make wishes upon, okay? There's going to be so much for you, but you have to be willing to face the grief that you need to go through, because if you don't face that grief, then you're never going to be able to move on. You know? So I'm also hearing to look at the back of the deck too, and this is really good as well. It says, number 42, homeward, take yourself out on a date. And this Hekate is saying like that was a grim message, but this is how it gets better. Okay? That's what I'm hearing Hekate tell me. She's like, this is the advice you need. Like, this is the grief cycle that needs to happen, and it's like tough love because it needs to happen. But like, the good news is this is gonna get better. So what I'm hearing is like, literally take yourself out on a date in nature and go observe, picnic, like go like on a picnic, or go on like a little like walk around the park, or even if you just like look at her, she's literally having a cup of tea looking out her door. Even if you just like look out one of the windows, or just open your front door and like enjoy a cup of tea while looking out your front door. You might look absolutely crazy, but it's about being present within the moment. It's about being present within the nature, and it's about being present within the magical moments of now. And that's something that I really truly resonate with Hekate. She is one of those goddesses that, as a triple goddess, she reminds me that no matter what aspect of life I'm in, be it maiden, mother, or crone, that I am present always, if that makes sense. And it's like it's about being present in those phases that matters, right? Thank you for the follow, Kimmy. I appreciate it. So this is kind of what I'm getting for you, Leia. I hope that that helps. Thank you for letting me and Hekate give you a reading. We are gonna jump back over to, let's see, we're gonna jump back over to the YouTube world. So if anyone over here has a question, we got Tinkerbell asking a question. They say, as I had mentioned before, if I were to ask Hekate, why is the yew tree calling to me? Let's see. Careful with Hekate. She's a powerful one. Yes, Hekate is a very powerful one. And let me tell you something. I actually used to be in a coven for Hekate. She was one of the most prominent goddesses that I worked with as a teenager and a young adult. So she's recently come back into my practice as like a center focus of my practice that she used to be, but I have the most like group experience with witches when it comes to work with Hekate. So I would love to make a video about that actually, if you guys would ever be interested in me making like, or just like live streaming and chatting about my experiences in my Hekate coven back in the day. But we are seeing what the cards have to say for Tinkerbell. So Hekate, Tinkerbell asks, why is the yew tree calling to me? I'm not too familiar about the yew tree. It sounds super familiar, but like for some reason, it's like it's like on the tip of my tongue. I'm not sure. It says, we have 34, voyage. You already have all the answers. Hekate says you're asking the wrong person. I know that's awkward. Hekate says you know why the yew tree is calling out to you. You don't need Hekate to tell you about it. And you got this, sister. or brother, sister, depending, you know, how you identify, or brother, sister, friend, you know what I mean? Ooh, but I was hearing, look at the bottom of the deck. This is what we have at the bottom of the deck. It says shark, swim away from this situation. Okay, who's Hekate? That would be a goddess that we work with here on the channel. So yeah, that was crazy. I feel like that was not the reading I was expecting to give you, but I hope that that answered your questions, Tinkerbell. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I really appreciate that. And thank you for letting Hekate read for you as well. Although she does say you already know what's up. Don't worry about it. Just follow your intuition with that one, or run away. Either or. So here we go. We are popping back over to TikTok. For those of you guys who are just joining, we're live on TikTok and YouTube right now. So we are gonna see if anyone over here on the TikTok land. Well, I know. I'm sorry, Tinkerbell. I wish I had more to give you, but see, this is the thing when you work with Hekate. Like, sometimes she just really is like, no ma'am, no sir. Like, and I'm not gonna like lie to any of you guys. Like, I'm not gonna like make up an answer if Hekate doesn't give me one for you. Like, what do you want me to say? It says, oh, what's it called? It says, what does she need me to know? That's a great question, my friend. What does, oh, what's it called? Hekate, what does, oh, what's it called need to know? Let's see. This one seems suspenseful, my funny. My funnies. Okay, let's see. This one. Yeah, it was this one. Okay. Okay. This one's really cute. I love this card. We got library. Take control of your own narrative. I love this card. 22. Take control of your own narrative. This is kind of a heavy reading, and I'm sure that wasn't what you were expecting. It certainly wasn't what I was expecting. But what's it called? Take control of your own narrative basically means like there's been a pattern. Hold on. There's been like a pattern that you've been like stuck in within like defining your reality, in a certain way. I'll give you an example based off of like my experience. Like, when it comes to me, like in my past relationships, like I went through a lot of turmoil and what some would say trauma, like genuinely. And so when it comes to stuff like that, like I've really had a hard time breaking out of that narrative that or those events defined who I am as a person, as a practitioner, even as a woman. However, with your particular experience in life, I'm getting this sense that like you need to stop repeating this narrative that you've been telling yourself for a long time. It's kind of overwhelming you in the sense where it's like pushing people away and people are tired of hearing it, but more than anything, your spirit, your soul, your heart, like everything is just exhausted of this narrative and you're ready for something new. But this is something that like in the dead of winter is the best time to create, right? Like that's the best time for you to really take the horns, if you will, of like what you want your narrative to be, and then decide for yourself how you're going to change that and decide for yourself how it's going to be better, right? So I also get a sense that you feel like with the puppet strings are really standing out to me in this reading for you. I'm getting the sense of like people feel like or you feel like people control you a lot, perhaps. If there is a situation that you're going through where you feel pressured to be a certain way, I'm gonna need you to be the exact way that scares you the most. And that's what Hekate is telling me for the most part. I'm also hearing, I'm pretty sure she wants me to read the bottom of the deck for every reading today. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. But number 12, we have expectations. Don't seek anyone's approval. And again, that goes again off of the top of the deck, library. Take control of your own narrative. I'm going to need you to take control of your own narrative. And then I'm going to also need you to not seek anyone's approval after you take control of that narrative. When you guys, anyone listening, when you decide to recreate who you are, or redefine who you are. A lot of people are going to have pushback on that because they have a conditioned ideal of you in their head and it's uncomfortable for people to change that, right? So this is why I'm going to need you not to seek anyone's expectations when you start behaving in a new way, when you start being who you're meant to be, or when you take a pivot in your life somehow. So that is what I'm getting for you today. I hope that helps. Thank you for letting me and Hekate read for you. It was absolutely so much fun. But we're popping back over to YouTube, and Missy Morales has a question for us. They say, I'd love to hear a message from Hekate. Hail Hekate, great mother. Let me tell you guys something. I absolutely love this goddess. Hekate is one of my all-time favorite goddesses, and I work with her for my magic. I work with her for the witchcraft, okay? She is really, truly the matron of my witchcraft, okay? So let's see Missy Morales. Hekate, what do we have to hear? What does she have to say for you, Missy Morales? Let's see, Hekate, give me a card for Missy. This one. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. We have nostalgia. Focus on the here and now. I absolutely love this card. Okay. Nostalgia. Focus on the here and now. Okay, when you guys are dealing with like anything that feels like a huge transition or like a huge power shift or some sort of like even you stepping into your own power or you trying to embody your purpose or feel fulfilled, right? We often get caught in a nostalgia trap. And why is that? We get caught in a nostalgia trap when we're trying to be better versions of who we are, because the better versions of who we are come from the nostalgia moments that are the source of our, the moments that are the source of our nostalgia, that were the times when we discovered the ideal versions of who we wanted to become in this life. And I'm hearing for you, Missy, that you need to remember those, especially with the 33. Pay attention to the sequence of threes, especially Hekate. She's a triple goddess, right? Like she's literally like, for those of you guys who don't think it's like legit, I don't know, like Hekate is a triple goddess, and that means that you have to sometimes look at the balance of polarities and the neutrality between them. That means like positive, negative, neutral for literal sake. That also means like life, death, rebirth, maiden, mother, crone. But the reason why this is important is because the nostalgia that comes from like it's the word, what's the word? For lack of a better word, new beginnings, right? Like when you first discovered your magic, when you first discovered witchcraft, there's a nostalgia for that. And it's supposed to be a remembrance of that, but also focusing on the here and now. And the way you're going to do that is by taking a voyage. Number 34, you already have all the answers. The reason why we sometimes get nostalgic is because we are yearning for a time when we were discovering the answers that we hold so dear and live our lives by today, right? So in my personal practice, I literally like have finally feel like I've come to this point where I can get over the nostalgia of my past and really take that voyage into who I'm meant to be, who I am meant to become, based off of literally all of the, discoveries that I made along the way. I also wanted to point out that this card has a mermaid in the stars, okay? That's really significant because mermaid energy is really, I'm getting mermaid energy is really important on this voyage of yours. And I'm hearing that it's mermaids that are unconventional that will be the ones that bring the most magic into your journey. And more than anything, it's supposed to lean into a magical view of the world. So I hope that that helps. Thank you so much for letting Hekate and I give you a reading today, Missy. But we're gonna pop back over on TikTok, all right? Because we just did our reading from YouTube over there. If you are watching from TikTok, don't forget to go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Link is in my, or the blink is in my bio, as they say. I don't know what they say anymore. We're just always getting, always having to change our ways on these internets these days. But we are gonna see what we have next. Mystic asks, what message does Hekate have for me? Hekate, Can you please give us a message for Mystic? What do you have to say for them? One more shuffle. There we go. That feels right. Ooh, this is a good one. I love this card. It says, number 16, bitch fire. Stand up for yourself. Thanks for the follow, Mystic. Whew, I need you to literally not be afraid to make people uncomfortable. I'm hearing like, I need you to like stay, hold on, I have to put the deck down for this. I'm gonna need you to, Hekate is giving me a visual of how to stand up for yourself. It's like the energy you need to bring to the table is this. For YouTube, just so you guys can see the, This is the energy I need you to bring, okay, Mystic? This is the energy Hekate is saying you need to bring to your life, and you need to bring your bitch fire. Like, oh, are you gonna play fucking weird like that? Cool, I'm gonna literally fucking disappear. Like, because there's certain things that you don't deserve, and sometimes, just like the picture on the card, you have to be the light in your own darkness. Sometimes you have to be the source of light. Okay? And if you're not the source of light in your own life, Hekate is telling you right now, we'll figure it out, because it's actually incredibly imperative to what you are doing in your practice. And the bottom of the deck to echo that, 27 says, which justice is coming. Justice is coming. Which says the justice is coming. And that's because when you stand up for yourself and you use your bitch fire, like, bitch, you're the justice. Okay, like, we can become our own justice too. And one thing that I'm not quite sure where I remember this from. If you guys, anyone in the chat knows where this is from, please remind me. But like, sometimes when you stand up for yourself, it's a process of making your own justice. If you cannot feel like the scales were right in your favor, then make it right for yourself. Do something that writes that justice for you, because no one else sometimes will come to bring you that justice, which is literally the whole entire problem of like what happens when you don't stand up for yourself. Sometimes the truth is, if you do not stand up for yourself, Mystic, and honestly anybody watching, like, if you do not stand up for yourself, sometimes that means you will never see justice because you have to make it yourself. So that's what I'm getting from Hekate for today. But thank you so much for letting me read for me, and Hekate for reading for you, excuse me. But we're popping back over to the YouTube land. Yes, my friends, let us see. Max, oh wow, does this also include other religions like Islam, Christianity? Yes, of course. I could absolutely do a poll for your Christian path if you'd like me to. But we are going to answer any questions over on the chat. Murfan? I'm not sure if that's how you say your name, but welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. It says, I've been seeing a lot of signs of Hekate. What does Hekate want me to know? That seems to be the popular question to ask her. She's kind of like giggling a little bit. Of course, Mystic, thank you so much for letting me read for you. But Hekate is honestly, okay. Hekate is so fun to read for, but she actually spit a card out for you, okay? So let's see. Max the Pooter Scooter. That's such a fun name. Hekate says oh, sorry. I do love your name, Max, by the way. I'm so sorry. It says Murfin25. Sorry, that's your name. Please forgive me, guys. I'm doing my best here. It says, number 4, mirror. Treat your body like the palace it is. That's what she wants you to know. Okay, Murfin? And just so TikTok can see it too. Thank you, Naya. You're so sweet. It says, mirror, treat your body like the palace it is. And what I'm hearing is like, there has been a sense of self-sacrifice for keeping the status quo, I'm hearing, and it's time to let that go. Okay, like, you guys do not need to be, what's it called? You don't need to be a certain way, or, you know, even participate in certain things in order to have fun with your friends. And it's about prioritizing your health and your being here while you're on this planet, because this is our only way of being present here on the planet, is being in our body, right? Like, and how well we, you know, tend to our body, if that makes sense. Like, that is what determines like how we show up in the world. And our bodies also are sacred in the sense that like they deserve love and care and respect, and they deserve to be cleaned and nourished and clothed and, you know, sheltered. They deserve to feel safe. They deserve to feel, you know, like it's almost like our bodies in and of itself are like little children we have to take care of. Like, you are not your body. Your body is a gift. Don't forget that. It's a gift. Please take care of it. And the bottom of the deck says 14 thorns. Weave together the crown you deserve. Oh, that's so beautiful. To go along with your palace. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Oh, I love this deck. It says, like it says, treat your body like the palace that it is. Don't forget to weave yourself a crown that will literally go along with you. Sitting in your throne in your palace. This is your throne, your palace, and you deserve a crown. Whatever that looks like for you, right? Like, everybody deserves to wear the crown that fits them, that makes them feel like, you know, like the king and queen of their own world, right? A certain type of control it gives us over our lives, because sometimes we don't feel like we have control over our lives, and it's devastating. It's devastating, you guys. So this is why when you prioritize keeping your body as like sacred grounds, basically, I'm hearing she's saying sacred grounds, sacred gardens, and weave the crown you deserve, even if it's made of shrapnel. She's saying that's very specific. um, you know, free watermelons. Click the link in my bio to free the watermelons, please. I am getting hella banned. I'm getting kind of like nicked on my page again because I started posting about my sponsored families. So if you can donate to Omar and Mara, please do that. But that's kind of what I'm hearing. It doesn't matter what your crown is made of. It's like the fact that you made it for you and you decided to see the beauty in your thorns, if that makes sense. So I hope that that helps, my friends. I hope that that helps. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, my friend. It was an absolute delight for doing that. Thank you for letting Hekate read for you as well. So we're jumping back over to the TikTok world. How's the TikTok friends doing? Sonia, what message does Hekate have for me, please? Well, we're about to find out, my friends. Hekate, what message do you have for Sonia? Thank you guys for joining the live. Feed the watermelon dragons. Absolutely, Rebel Child Witchery. Feed the watermelon dragons. It says, what message does Hekate have for me? Let's find out. I just love all these crowns on the cards. They're so cute. I'm getting that's the one. Sonia, this is what Hekate has to say. Oh, I love this card. It says 26. 26. Feather. Think first before you judge. I love this one. Think first before you judge. Whew. Beautiful deck. Thank you. I love this deck so much, Sonia. This is a depiction of the famous craft scene. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. It is a very famous scene about witchcraft. And my favorite thing about this is that all of the girls in this scene, they felt like it couldn't have even been real, that this, you know, levitation magic was even possible. But despite their skeptical thoughts or even afraid nature that it might work out, they did it anyway. And guess what? When they thought first before they judged and tried it anyway, that's when they discovered the magic together, right? And in order to discover magic together with the ones that you love, you have to, you know, not judge your friends. You have to not judge the people around you, even if they have drastically different like perspectives on magic and like spirituality and like religion and like, you know, things like that. Like, you're allowed to disagree on things like a religious perspective and things like, you know, a spiritual perspective. Like, and both parties are valid. Like everything's allowed to be right, you know? Like if it's true, then it's true for you. You know what I mean? And if what's true for you is not true for someone else, that doesn't mean that it's not valid. It just means that it's different. And when we like decide not to judge the people that we love, and we decide to not judge the people that even we hate and loathe, that's when we learn and discover the most magic. And I'm also hearing, to read the bottom of the deck, it says 8 wings. You never needed those wings to fly. So many times, Sonia, we feel like we were never able to fly without wings, or we needed to spread our wings to fly, as they say. Even I do in some of my music, I say this, right? But when it comes to the flying, you don't need those wings to fly because you're already capable of flying. And it's really that simple. You know what I mean? Like, you are capable of going above and beyond for anything that you desire, and you are more than capable of being successful in those endeavors if you choose. Do you know what I mean? So that is what I'm getting for you today from Hekate. So thank you so much for letting Hekate and I read for you. I really appreciate that. It was so much fun. We are going to hop over to the YouTube land. There's some drama over on the YouTube land, and it's crazy. We always get the drama on the YouTube land. So Skywolf 1802 asks, what does the next year look like for me? Let's see, my friend. Wow, I resonate, and I'm very grateful to you and Hekate for this message. Thank you so much, Sonia, for giving us some of your time today. I appreciate you letting me read for you. I really, truly am honored that it was resonating and helped, because it is always our intention to leave the best of enlighten, like just illumination is the word, trying to help. It says, Skywolf says, what does the next year look like for me? I don't know, Skywolf, but we'll ask Hekate. So, hey, Hekate, what does the next year look like for Skywolf? Let's see. Hey, yo, what up, Speed? What up, Speed? I love your name, by the way. But Hekate says for Skywolf for the next year, let's see. Thank you for liking the live, my friends. I'm hearing that's the one. Okay, let's see. It says, number 11, beautiful. Sun, paint the sun back into your sky. Let me just try not to cry reading these cards. Look at this. Such a beautiful card. Do you see this? It's like she's painting the daytime back into the sky. Absolutely gorgeous card. It says, paint the sun back into the sky, and it's this girl who is an artist holding a little paint palette and a paintbrush, and she's painting the sun back into the darkened night. And it's card number 11. I feel like this is really incredibly profound. This is such a profound picture and imagery. The overall message, Skywolf, for the next year is one of you hanging up the artwork of your life. That means you get to hang up your memories, no matter how like traumatic they were or how like amazing and ecstatic and full of wonder they were. All throughout the spectrum of your life, you get to spend the year hanging those up like beautiful masterpieces of art on your wall, memories that you cherish as jewels of experience that you can draw upon for wisdom, for a resource to be able to relate to other people, a way for you to relate to yourself, for you to relate to how you are not alone as much as maybe it feels like you were, especially through some of the moments or the memories that you would be hanging on your wall. Like the artwork, if you will, like the pictures of certain memories, like that is a painting that you put on these walls. And as you do that, it's slowly going to put the sun back in the sky, in the sense that you'll be able to feel presence again. You'll be able to know that these are simply just collections of artwork, and they're not you. They don't define you. They don't define you as the artist. It's just the art that has become of your life. Wow. Thank you, Hekate. That was really beautiful. And then the bottom says, library, take control of your own narrative. Yeah, number 22. It says, you know, like, the way that you're gonna do that, the way you're gonna hang the artwork on that wall is by like defining who you are. That's so beautiful. Excuse me, I wasn't ready for how emotional that was gonna make me. Pardon me, but that's your reading, man. Like, pull this, like it's, I'm getting a visual of like, see all the strings on her? You're gonna be like cutting the strings, you know, that the picture frames have over you. And as you cut the strings that they have over you, they're gonna fall to your feet and you're gonna hang them on the wall. That's how you move on. Wow, okay. I'm gonna need 3 business days to process that message. Hekate, thank you for that. I need water after that. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for that. That was such a beautiful reading. I'm overwhelmed a little bit. So I'm just gonna take some water for that one. We will be moving over to TikTok really quick after that, but thank you guys so much for the follow, my friends. Just gonna, let me sip this water. That was so intense. That was so gorgeous anyway. But we are gonna see. Nishi Pen, thank you for joining the live. She or they or, let me see. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to misgender people. I keep saying that, but like, I'm just like really doing my best here, my friends. But let's see. Nishi, I am on. Am I on Himanshu's mind? Okay. Am I on Himanshu's mind? That's a great question. Nicole, yes, these readings are free. It says, Hekate says for you, my dear. I'm hearing this is the one. Universe, it says we're all just stardust. Interesting. The thing that I'm realizing, or like just kind of feeling for this reading, is asking the question if you're on their mind. The answer is kind of like, of course, you are, but not in the sense that like maybe you want to be or you intend. The universe says we're all just stardust, meaning that we're all just kind of here and we're just all kind of in it, and sometimes we just kind of like cross paths, and like we don't have to assign like anything super dramatic to anything. Like nothing really has to be like some sort of like mega sign that changes your life. Like even the content that like talks about like Hekate, for example, you don't have to see it everywhere and then feel like you have to like, you know, have this goddess in your life. Like it doesn't have to be that serious. Like if someone like leaves, like, or if someone's like not texting you back, or if someone's like, you know, just on a trip or something like that, like, and you're wondering, like, do they even notice me? Like, do they even like think about me? Like, well, yeah, if like you're, if you're like have crossed paths with them and looked into each other's eyes, like, obviously is what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing voyage. You already have all the answers. Yeah. I'm hearing that like maybe you shouldn't doubt like the intuition that you already have, because like you know better than I do, and I'm honestly just trying to pinpoint an answer, but the truth is you already know exactly what I'm talking about or what I'm trying to say. So I hope that was a good reading for you. Thank you for asking. I just think it's so funny how drastically different Hekate's messages can be sometimes, but they all tend to be the same blunt level. They're all super blunt messages. Is that the right word? I'm not sure if that's the right word. Please forgive me, my friends. Thank you so much for joining the live. We're just gonna pop back over to YouTube as we are bouncing back and forth. So if anyone has questions, please let me know. Dr. Pericles? I love that name. Dr. Parasols? Pericles. Please help. I hope that I said that right. It says, will I able to make my reality my dreams in January? Ooh, I think that's the one. It says, it says 10, red, forgive. Here we go. I love this card. It's a pretty straightforward card. Making your dreams come true in January is not as simple as a question. It has more to do with self-forgiveness and spending time with yourself than you realize. It has a time. I'm hearing some kind of like connection to water is necessary, and also like tend the garden, be it a literal garden or a garden of like your heart, if that makes sense. Like what makes the flowers in your garden of your heart bloom? Like how do you have to water certain like how do you have to water certain seeds in the gardens of your heart in order for them to bloom into flowers? That's kind of, I think, the overall message from this. So that was actually more of a question, and to get clarity on that, I'm hearing the bottom of the deck. Evil Queen, you deserve sugar, not salt. Yeah, that's the one. Evil Queen, you deserve sugar, not salt, sweetheart. That's really difficult. That is really difficult. You know, like if you want your dreams to come true, like you need to be sweet and not salty if they don't. Like if it's about being sweet and grateful about the progress that you make and not salty about it not being good enough to a certain standard, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm hearing for you, my friend. Oh, thank you so much for joining the live, my friend. You guys are so much fun. Do you believe in God or Jesus? Yes, we believe in both of these beautiful people here on this channel. We believe that Jesus was a prophet, peace be upon him. And we believe in God. I'm a witch who loves God. That's weird, that's cool, but that's who I am. So hang out if you want. We're popping back over to TikTok as we do the things, my friends. Bree asks, will me and Brian be officially together, or will he stay with Steph? We get some really amazingly juicy questions on TikTok, and I'm excited. I'm super excited to hear what Hekate's perspective is on this scenario. So could you give us some clarity, Hekate? It says, Bree or Brianna, it says 19, lavender, surround yourself with love. Here's what I'm getting. And overall, the message I'm getting from Hekate is like, you deserve better. Like, go focus on either hanging out with friends that you do have, make new friends, and like maybe get a journal or a secret diary for yourself where you can like write, you know, what kind of like standards like you accept in your life or from relationships, things that you can keep, like notes or like little poetry, little messages. If you see signs that could maybe be magical or anything that makes you feel magical, like write that down. If you find like cute little like post-it notes, like put one in your like journal, like to keep collection of it. Like surround yourself with love in the sense of like be with family. Like if there's family member that you're missing, like go be with them. Go like remember the connections that like, you know, are closest to you from childhood is what I'm hearing. And the bottom of the deck is to remind you that unplug and relax for a spell. The best way for this to go in the favor that you want it to, like the outcome that deeply down you want it to go, even though that might not look the way that you want it right at first, you're gonna have to take a deep breath and unplug from, like I'm hearing, the internet and electricity, and relax for a spell, in the sense like maybe run a bath and like make a bath ritual, because I'm hearing that a lot of us need like a better connection with like water and like bathing in a magical way, like not bathing necessarily just for like cleaning our bodies or like showering for cleaning our bodies, but like making a type of sacred craft around water, and like a practice that makes us feel grounded through water. Specifically, I'm hearing grounded through water. He got us both pregnant, so I'm stuck. He goes back and forth and blocks me randomly. That's so disgusting. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's trauma. Okay, Brianna, like that's just trauma, okay? Like that is something that like you don't ever fucking deserve. Like, ew, I'm like so mad. We're both mad for you. Okay. Like that's gross. Okay, so like don't ever deny like how like absolutely fucking awful that is. And this is why I'm like hearing prioritize time around your friend. and time around like your girls. And like if you don't have like a girls like group, like please do your best to make a sisterhood, because that's absolutely essential for you to like not only do the best for you but your child, right? And then like relaxing is key in the sense like, you know, when we're in the airplanes, like we're told that even if we have kids like with us, like we have to put the oxygen mask on us first. Like you guys, like if we have children, like especially to all my mamas and all my papas and all of my other guardians out there who have like children in their lives, please, I need you to hear me right now. Like I need you to put your oxygen mask on first for you as an act of service to them. Ooh, I'm gonna say that one again, okay? I'm gonna need you guys to relax for yourself as an act of service to them. Okay? So, Brianna, for your daughters, I'm gonna need you to relax. Create a ritual for yourself to relax and pour into you as an act of service to your daughters. And it's going to revolutionize your life. That's what I'm hearing. I mean, that's totally not where I thought that was gonna go. Thank you for the absolute best question. That was such a good one. I hope that that reading helps and resonates. And thank you for letting Hekate and I read for you. Thank you, my darlings. We're popping back over to the YouTube land. Do we got some questions? Oh, just want you to know, Brianna, that YouTube's here for you too. All the hatchlings over on YouTube are saying, we're here for you, Brianna. You got this. We believe in you. We are here to be here for you. But it's true though, because like this is like the more that we like, you know, like do these live streams, you guys, like the more we hang out and chat and get to know each other, the more we're building a community, friends. And like that's what matters the most. And that's like a reading from Hekate that I don't need to pull cards from or cards for, okay, is building community, even if that is in unconventional ways. I'm hearing this is an unconventional way to build community, if you ask me. But thank you so very much for the follow, my friends. But over here on YouTube, do we got some questions, my friends? I'm gonna check through this chat. I'm a comedic practitioner and I absolutely love your vids. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That means like so much to me, honestly. Like, that is super cool. I have to learn more about comedic practices. I did a little bit of it when I was really, really little, but nothing like this. Nothing like this, you know what I mean? Absolutely not. So we have Rebel Child asking, am I improving in setting boundaries? That's a great question. That is a great question, my friends. Am I improving on setting boundaries? I think that's a great question for maybe everybody. I hope that's fair if I read it for everybody, Rebel. But we'll definitely do it to make sure that any messages you need to know specifically come through. So Hekate, what is the answer to Rebel Child's question? Let us find out. Whoop, that's the one. This is gonna trip you out, Rebel. This is gonna trip me out. Okay, I'm not ready for this one. It says, number 35, shark, swim away from the situation. You are doing phenomenal. Do you understand the significance of pulling this card specifically for a boundary question? That like blew me away. Like that, okay. There's a lot of cards in this deck, you guys. That's crazy, okay? Like this is insane. Like I need you to understand, like this is a shark mermaid. That's super cool, by the way. Super cool, by the way. I know, right? Rebel, so silly. It says, shark, swim away from the situation. Like, I need you to understand that when you identify a situation that doesn't feel right, that you swim away, swim far away. And I'm hearing, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming. Like, seriously. That's insane. That's hilariously insane, Rebel Child. And this is such a cool card. Like, I love this. They're like swimming in the galaxies. Like, isn't this so much fun? Absolutely obsessed. Such a beautiful card. And then The back card, like, I'm hearing this is how, like, you recover from having to run away, if that makes sense. It says 37 gray. Endings are inevitable. That's how you're gonna get over it, my friend. Just realizing that it's just like kind of meant, like, it's inevitable. Like, all of it just happens. You know what I mean? Like, look, you know, like, endings are inevitable. You know, like, if you feel weird about like running away from people, like, literally don't worry about it, because endings are inevitable. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to cut people out of your life. You know what I mean? You know, I think it's really best for us to do the best we can with our families, to keep them and keep a kind of relationship with them if we can. But the truth is, like, if it's not good for you and it's hurting you, like, please understand that, like, it's okay to like choose you and focus on you, especially if like having a close relationship with people like this is like hurting you. You know, create a way to have the relationship in a way that doesn't hurt you, or distance yourself and love them anyway. You know, like, that's like the best thing that I can say, you know. But I do hope that that makes sense. Thank you for letting Hekate and I read for you, because that, I really honestly needed that message too. So definitely appreciate that one. Hey, welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather Dragon Blend G. So good to see you. We are hopping back over to the TikTok land. So if you got any questions, Pop asks, do I have a Monte? And do they want something to do with me? That's a great question, my darlings. So Monte, I'm being told to answer the question as like asking if you have a personal dragon guardian that you would consider Monte, right? But here's the dealio, okay? That's how I'm gonna kind of describe it for the chat and for people who don't necessarily know who like a Monte is. Those of you guys who don't practice draconic witchcraft, Monte is considered like a personal dragon guardian, one of the closest ones to us. Some may consider it like a primary dragon guardian. So we're gonna see if Pop has a Monte or dragon guardian, and do they want something to do with me? That is a great question. I'm not sure if I can tell you that for sure, but I'll see what Hekate has to say about this in particular. She says, number 44, storm. Every hurricane comes to an end. It's literally about like when you have questions, if you have like dragon guardians, for example, and if they want to do with you or want to work with you or anything like that, that can honestly feel like such a scary whirlwind of questions and emotions and possibilities for your future. And for a lot of people, it can actually be really overwhelming to even consider working with dragons. Like, it can feel like super humiliating in the sense where you feel like you're not exactly sure if it's real, you're not exactly sure if it isn't, and you just have faith, and that's kind of the whole point of it, to be honest. But the thing that I'm hearing is that like this storm that you have of questions about it, once the storm of questions ends is when you're actually going to get the answer that you're looking for. It's not something that Hekate really has the power to answer. And it also says 9, Phoenix. How's that for a happily ever after? Ooh, what a beautiful card to have at the bottom of the deck. That is so beautiful. The thing about Hekate is she's also able to see past, present, and future all right here, right now, and all of the kind of like parallels that we can choose in our lives, just the way the dragons can. At least in my understanding of goddesses, that's how it works, in my practice anyway. But when it comes to Hekate, she's saying like what she does see is she does see like phoenix symbolism. Like, she's like, well, she's giving me like a vision of like phoenix symbolism, in the sense that like this storm that like will come to an end, that might seem nerve-wracking right now, about wondering if you have dragons in your life, wondering if you're going to work with them, wondering if it's like even possible for you to have a connection to dragons. that is something that is so uniquely individual to you, that there's so many opportunities for you to go so many directions, because this is a spiral path, right? Like working with dragons, we call it the spiral path, okay? And when you're walking a spiral path with the dragons, it's not the only spiral path you can walk, but it's one of them. And when you walk that, you have to know that like it's a huge part. Oh no. Please let me get back in TikTok. Okay, thank you. Sorry, TikTok was like, verify you're a human. And I was like, dear Lord. So it says, how's that for happily ever after? Like, she's saying that like, no matter what you choose on your path with dragons, or no matter what you think, like the outcome is the same of, how's that for a happily ever after? Wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that so much more magical and wonderful than you could have ever imagined, since you only just took a chance? She's saying what she does have domain over is magic. And if you work with the magic, with the aid of the dragons, like anyone is undefeatable, unstoppable, and what they wish to carve out and create within their life, if they follow the path with honor and nobility, you know, like, and respect to their fellow human beings, and especially the dragons, right? So I think that the more you trust your intuition, the more that you're gonna, you know, find out that there's a lot more magic going on than you could have ever imagined. And the truth is, when it comes to working with dragons, is everybody deserves dragons. You know, I do work with her, but I haven't worked with dragons yet. You know, you can absolutely ask Hekate to work with you, like even like with draconic energy, like what kind of dragons would even be like associated with her magic, right? Like I work with Hekate for my witchcraft, and a lot of my witchcraft has to do with dragons. And when that comes to like in tandem with Hekate, like I personally like to, you know, just, what's the word? Focus on it, like decide what kind of magic that I want to work with, and then kind of bring that to Hekate and like ask like, hey, like how can we like make this better, and kind of work with her almost like she's like a teacher of witchcraft, if that makes sense. That's the best way that I work with her. Taima is my matron goddess. She's actually a dragon goddess, but we're not working with her today. We're working with Hekate today, which is a triple goddess. She's a maiden, mother, crone, goddess of witchcraft. That's how I'm most connected to her anyway, as her aspect of witchcraft. But I really hope that that helped over there on TikTok. But we are popping back over to the YouTube land for a question. Alien Noodle asks, will things start to go better in my life? What a good question. I think I need a sip of water before we do this one. Just real quick here, my darlings. Oh my goodness, Tragic Nostalgic, thanks for joining. Welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Sorry, we're just geeky, cheeky, and freaky here in this world. But we're popping back over here for our friend Alien Noodle. They ask, will things start to get better in my life? That is a really good question, Alien Noodle. I really appreciate you asking, Hekate and I. So I will see. I think this is actually meant to be the one. That was very interesting. That was very interesting, my friends, the way that one popped up. Let's see. It says, throne, your potential is endless. 45. Honestly, Alien Noodle, will things start to get better in your life? My dear, your potential is endless. Hekate says, I can't even begin to tell you the potential that you have for it to go so much better than you ever even imagined in your life. And look, it's like she's like showing like very different versions of like, just different versions of like human expression, right? And like they also represent very different like types or archetypes of like humans, right? Or like the human spirit, if you will. Here I'm getting, of course, you have the triple goddess, right? So it's like a triple goddess type of aspect. I'm saying this isn't like a literal like it isn't like a literal like 3 different people sitting on a throne. I'm hearing this more like for you in order to make things better, because the power is only in your hands, is what Hekate is telling me. The power is only in your hands, and you already know that's the truth, and that's the part that's probably difficult. But the way that you're going to accomplish anything that comes your way is by looking at like 3 major aspects or archetypes, or like I guess you could say like versions of who you are. Like, how do you express yourself? Like, for example, I am somebody who absolutely loves to study, like, you know, the music industry. Like, I love making music, and I also love magic and witchcraft, and I've been a huge fan of that my entire life. And I also love dragons, mythical creatures. All of that is so special to me, right? And I choose to focus on those 3 aspects within my like life as like a center focus, so I don't like fall off the path, right? Or like forget who I am is probably a better way to say it, not fall off the path. But your potential is endless, meaning that there's so many different ways that you can express yourself and change that. And at the end of the day, like when you start doing that and you start expressing yourself and you start being who you are fully, like that's how you're gonna have like 14 thrones. Weave together the crown you deserve. Like, the more you choose to express yourself fully as you are, that's what's gonna make you wear a crown that other people could never touch, because you placed it there yourself through the trials and tribulations and challenges and obstacles you overcame. And that only happens when you have the courage to fully take charge and embody who you are, in the sense of taking actions and using your voice to speak up as you are. That's what's going to make your, you know, things get better for you. But it's only in your power, is what I'm hearing. So I hope that that helps. Thank you for letting Hekate and I read for you. Yay! That was so much fun. We're popping back over to the YouTube land. To the TikTok world. If anyone over on TikTok has a question, I'm more than happy to answer it for you. But we're just doing yeah, of course. Yes, I do answer questions, my friends. This is the deck, by the way. It's called Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle Deck by Amanda Lovelace, for those of you guys who are just joining us. It says Amanda Lovelace, artwork by Gianna Medeiros. Love it. Love it, love it. Ariana asks, what does Hekate have for me? That's a great one. We are loving that. That's the popular question for the evening. And honestly, I'm loving how different the messages are each time it's asked. So it's actually super fun. Let's find out, Ariana. Let's find out. Whoa, that seemed important. Okay. We have Tower, unplug and relax for a spell. I'm hearing basically like the overall message for you, Ariana, is that you need to kind of like take some time. Like, I'm hearing like 3 days. Like, I'm here like 3 days to try and focus on being like offline and like out of people's like business, if you will, like as much as you can, in the sense of like you're in your own business, like, and you're like hyper focused on your own shit, your own like tasks, like your own like to-do list of like, okay, so do you need to do laundry? Like, do you need to like shower? Do you need to like go stock up on maybe like grocery shopping? Like, do you need to go like get new makeup? Do you need to like go like get new shoes? Or do you need to like go fix that thing on the car? Or like, you know, go fix this thing at the bank? Like, there's a lot of like list of things that like could be like adulting things that like you need to do, but also like grounding yourself in like really annoyingly mundane tasks, and using that as a time to appreciate the magic within your life. Because when we do mundane things like dishes, or when we do mundane things like laundry, like the monotony of that like helps us feel, or like the just the over and over again of it all like helps us feel that we can be truly like grateful for the moments that we do experience our magic, right? And relaxing is really important in the sense that like try and find like some sort of routine again that like makes you feel like relaxed. And the way you're gonna find that kind of a routine is by bitch fire, standing up for yourself, number 16. I'm hearing that like the most relaxing, sometimes the most relaxing things is like super unconventional, right? Like I'm hearing that relaxing for you is standing up for yourself. So every time like somebody like oversteps your boundaries, like mean what you say what you like. This is what Hekate is like giving me. So here's like a quote. It's like mean what you say what you mean, don't say it mean, and whenever you need to, stand up for yourself. That's how you're gonna relax. It's a very Hekate way to relax. So thank you so much for your question, Ariana. I really appreciate it. Thanks for letting me and Hekate read for you today. We are having a lot of fun with this one. It's actually super spicy today. We're popping back over to the YouTube world. Here we go. Cupid has a question. I have one question. Is Anubis my matron patron deity? And am I improving in my craft? Oh, okay. So that's very interesting. Very interesting question. I've never asked a deity about another deity before. So this is gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna do my best. So please let me know if this resonates or not. But let's find out. Hekate, what message do you have for Cupid on this question? This one. I'm hearing like, okay, what was the particular language of the question? Am I improving? Okay. Is Anubis my matron patron deity? Am I improving in my craft? Okay. Cupid, the thing about matron and patron deities is like it's very personal between the deities or the deities and like they're like the ones that work with them, their devotees or whatever you'd like to call them, or their followers or whatever you'd like to call them. And when it comes to working with Anubis, I'm personally not too familiar with Anubis in my practice, so I'm just doing the best I can here. So forgive me if I'm not entirely accurate about this, but I'm hearing that in order to work with Anubis, people who work with Anubis forget to forgive themselves before they really dive on that adventure, and they forget to forgive themselves of their shortcomings in the sense that we're human and we have faults, and that is by design. That's really the message that I'm hearing in terms of if like Anubis is your matron or patron, that is ultimately up to you. I would never be able to understand the particular answer to that question, at least not in my experience, right? I've never seen that in my experience, but like what I can say is that in order to, know if you're doing the right thing on this path, I'm hearing 13, lioness, you've earned all your stripes, meaning that like on the path that you are within your craft, both with Anubis and with like out your practice, like in your regular life too, I'm hearing it's very specific. This message is for your like all of the aspects of your life, including your craft. You've earned all your stripes in all of them. Like you've been through some trials and tribulations, and it's time to explore the knowledge that you've gained from the wisdom of your experiences and see how you put it together to express yourself. And that's what I'm getting from Hekate. That's not what I expected, but I hope that it helped. Thank you for your question, because that was very interesting. I've never read, like I said, for another, like, I've never pulled like a card from a goddess that was for another deity. So that was super new for me. Thank you for that. But we're popping back over to the nope, I keep calling TikTok YouTube. Please forgive me. I have like leaves in my eyes. Sorry. Here we are. Here we are. Odera asks, any advice, insight on a connection? I'm not sure, but Hekate, any advice or insight on a connection? I'm hearing we don't need that part of the deck for this one. There we go. This one. Okay, and she says pick up the bottom of this one for the bottom of the deck. Okay. All right, lovelies, let's find out. Any insight on a connection? Castle, it's time for healing, not war. 30. Okay, so what I'm hearing is like all is fair in love and war, and it's time for healing, not love and war. That is a really overwhelming message that may or may not resonate. I'm not sure. But I'm hearing the bottom of the deck will give insight. Oh, and it's because you're supposed to release your guilt for just your, like, not your shortcomings, but just like, I guess the word is for what you perceive as shortcomings within like your love life, I guess. Like, this is what the card looks like, by the way, for this one. And then this is Castle. This is, so this is the front of the deck, right? Meaning that like the most important thing for this or on a connection or within connections is it's time for healing, not war. I'm hearing like there needs to be like, what is it called, like a fortnight grace period. A fortnight is like, I believe, 2 weeks. So I'm hearing like you need a fortnight in the castle of a grace period before you really jump back in. And that means if you have to like ghost people for like, you know, 2 weeks to see how they behave, like see what happens. And if like sometimes like, I don't know, like that's like, use that advice at your own risk. This is not meant for advice. This is just what I think cards are telling me through the perspective of Hekate. But like, I think that there's a sense of like, you feel like you need to keep going in love, and because like you keep going before like you've really taken this like resting period, there's been a sense of like um is it wandlessness, what's the word, like wandering, restlessness, I don't know the word, there's something there, I'm gonna look it up later. But it's about to kind of, it's the overall like message is like there's guilt that's weighing you back, and it's like attracting things that like is not loving you the way that you want to be loved. Like you have to sometimes learn to love you the way you want to be loved and build a circle that loves you the way you want to be loved before you're able to, you know, find justice in love and war, if that makes sense. I'm honestly, I honestly need clarification on this one. I'm cutting the deck. Oh yeah. That's really intense. It says 18, tree, let them go. Yeah, see, this is really a message that I don't really often give people. I don't like giving people, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like absolutely like a let them go message. But like, I think that this let them go message isn't like face face first, right? Like this isn't like the person you're thinking of, let them go. I'm hearing like there's a part of your past that you're holding on to that you need to let go before you go forward. I really hope that helps. I'm really doing my best here because that one was kind of really intense but convoluted in a way. And sometimes Hekate is like that because like, I think it's like, what's the word? It's almost like a riddle, you know what I mean? Like the way that she interacts sometimes like really confuses me. But like, I think the overall message of that one was honestly like, you need to like do what's best for you, and that's what's going to attract the right things for you, because that's the only way we can attract what's right for us, is by establishing a daily routine that enriches us and enables us to show up in the world a certain way. Like I would have never like been able to cultivate the life that I do now if I didn't work my ass off on like, you know, showing up for myself in a different way and a drastically different environment before I had the one that I do today. Like I had to almost be delusional about it. I was like, no, I deserve a different life. Like I want to like pursue my music. Like I want to pursue my magic. I want to pursue a path with dragons. Like I want to pursue all of these things, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to share it with people, and it's going to be amazing. And I know that there's something there, and I would never let anyone tell me otherwise. And so many people in my past like really judged me for that, and especially in romantic relationships. Like it was almost like they wanted to take advantage of me or like change me in a way because I was like too geeky, cheeky, and freaky. And if you're too geeky, cheeky, and freaky too for some people, like remember, you're not meant for them. Okay? Like, and if that means you have to let them go if they were from a past that like a past relationship that didn't think you were good enough, that you have to let go, or this new one that you have to let go, that you already have the answer for. But for me, all I'm saying is that it's really important to like let things go to stay present. And this like is something that I want to talk about really quick. That's been a lesson for me. It's like the only way I'm able to even have hope for future connections is if I'm able to be present as myself. if I'm able to have fun as myself, like if I'm able to show up in a way that makes me comfortable. Like before I used to feel like I was hiding in my own skin, and now I feel like I've never been more alive in my life. And that's just because I made the decision one day years ago that I was like, you know what? I've always known that I deserved better, but today I'm gonna decide that I actually don't accept anything less. So I hope that that helps. And Hekate's been a huge like goddess for me to work with in that journey as well. Like she's been really present in my life throughout like some of the hardest parts of my practice, and especially within my relationships too. So it's just like something that we have to experience like one step at a time, and it's always changing the outcome when we choose things differently. And that's what makes us queens. I love this one. These cards are so pretty. If you guys haven't seen these yet, and we're gonna pop back over to YouTube. Ever Aguilar, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. I would be considered a witch. And today we are doing cards with Hekate, and we are doing the deck Believe in Your Own Magic. This is the deck I use to pull cards for Hekate, and it says it's by Amanda Lovelace, and the artwork is by Gianna Medeiros. So if you're interested in getting the deck, that is the one I would recommend checking out. It's a really good one for Hekate, honestly. So it's a really good one. Caden Brown has a question. They say, how should I navigate an oncoming financial decision where I have to choose between my best interest versus that of my family members? Whew, that is the hardest question of the night, to be honest. To be honest. It says, oh dear, thank you, of course. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. That's a really big, heavy one. I'm not sure, but we can definitely see what Hekate has to say. So let's find out. Caden Brown has a question, and it is, how should I navigate an oncoming financial decision? Okay, between best interest and family members, that's the one. Oh my gosh, Caden, this is really intense of a message. Okay, are you ready? I'm not ready for this one. It says, this is such a Hekate answer too, by the way. For those of you guys watching on TikTok, this is like probably the most Hekate reading of the entire show today so far. It says 28, protest, start a revolution. Start a revolution? What do you mean? What kind of question is that? I'm hearing her ask, what do you mean you have to make a decision between your best interest and that of your family member? What do you mean? Start a revolution. Start a revolution. That's what I'm hearing. Oh my goodness. It says, but how do you navigate it? The oncoming financial decision. You have to see how you can be like a revolutionary in this decision. Like, and the way that you're going to get clarity in that practice, the way that, okay, this is, oh my gosh, hold on. I'm not ready for this, and you're not ready for this, and I just need to fix this crown before I get started, because this is a lot. Okay, this is a lot. Ready? The way that you're going to start a revolution to make this financial decision is by 25 mural, be your own first priority. You're going to radically prioritize your own needs. You're going to radically prioritize your own needs. What does that mean? Sometimes your own needs means your family. Okay. And sometimes your own needs means I need the finances in order to provide for my family, or provide for, like, you know, even just yourself, or even just whatever it is that you've got going on. Right? Like, I'm hearing that in this decision, like, you need to understand that it's not one about self-sacrifice and being noble. It's about one of making the decision that rights the scales, right? There's like three different paths, right? This is a true, like, honest crossroads, I feel, you know, which is something that, for those of you guys watching who are not sure, Hekate is the goddess, well, one of the things that she's a goddess of is the crossroads. and we work with her when we are facing tough decisions. So this was a really good question, because we go to the crossroads. To some people will leave offerings at the crossroads asking for help on making a decision. For Hekate, that's something that the coven I was in with Hekate used to do. But with this decision, I'm hearing that there's like, even with the card here, there's three different major like opportunities, or like big options, or like paths that you can take with this decision, and you know in your head what kind of like generally they look like. But the truth is that there's one that feels like it would be prioritizing you and your needs and like what's best for you. And the best thing that you can do is one of like safety. Like I'm hearing prioritize the safety, and if that means the priority of yourself and of your family, that's always going to be number one, because money can always come again. You know, like sometimes it's not about the money, sometimes it's like all we have is our family, right? I'm hearing cut the deck. Yeah, bitch fire, stand up for yourself. Like you really need to like stand up for yourself. Okay, like number 16, bitch fire, stand up for yourself. If you have to stand up for yourself and be like, hey, like my fam, like if you need to like advocate for yourself in a certain way, because I'm not too familiar with your situation, but like if you need to advocate for yourself in a certain way, like you have to do it in the sense of like advocating for what's like justice. I'm hearing you gotta advocate for justice, like not in the sense of where you like get in people's face where you're like, this is what needs to happen, blah blah blah, like do you have, no, that's not how that's done. No, I'm saying like standing up for yourself can be walking away sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, like I walk away, like when it comes to like certain things that just, it's like you're doing too much, you're asking too much, I'm gonna walk away. You know what I mean? So I hope that that message helps. Thank you for letting Hekate and I give you a message for such a very intimate and strenuous question. But what I will say is that even though these readings are for entertainment purposes only, I really do my best to try and deliver the best messages to help and uplift people through the various goddesses and dragons and mythical creatures that I work with. So hello, Eli23. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. We're just pulling cards, working with Hekate. She is a goddess that I work with and have been working with since I was about, I want to say like 15 or 16. But here we go. Yeah, I know, you and Country Ball. It's really, unfortunately, a disease at this point. We got a comment saying that I say like an unreal amount of times. We know. You have no idea how much better it is to avoid the like problem when you literally mute and leave a like. You will like more than I like. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's a Valley Girl problem. Trust, I get it. It's a problem. We hear it. It's okay. It's a symptom. It's a symptom. Okay, we're popping back over to TikTok, my friends, for the reading. Thank you for the follow, Violet May 777. We are pulling cards for Hekate, or from Hekate, I should say. Thank you, Lisa from Ireland, for the follow. I am from Ireland as well. My grandpa immigrated to America from Ireland, actually. Shout out to my grandpa. That was some pretty intense stuff to do. But we are kind of just settling this deck. It seems to be kicking, but this is the deck that we're working with. It is the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck by Amanda Lovelace. I really like it, honestly. I really do. The art is also really beautiful. If anyone has a question, I'd love to answer. Midnight. Kristen, what sort of good things or blessings are coming my way? Midnight, are you in the chat? Thanks for liking the video. I will answer your question. Let me just take one of those sippies. Please stay hydrated, my friends. Ready, set, go. Super Mario. Super Mario. Okay,
let's check it out. Midnight. What sort of good things or blessings are coming my way? Hekate, what do you have to say to that? I'm not sure. Happy birthday, Victoria. Have a good one. All right, Midnight. Let's find out. What kind of blessings will you experience, my friend? What are they in store for you? This one. Okay. Let's see what it has to say. Oh, I love this card so much. Number 37, Gray. Endings are inevitable. I love this card. A lot of people associate this card with a negative connotation, but the truth is, Midnight, this card is coming through as a major positive. There's something that is like a cycle that's coming to a close, I'm hearing, in the sense of like, this ending is actually going to bring you all the opportunities that you've always wanted to have, and the ones that you've been hoping would come for a long time, and the ones that you've dreamed of even being able to have like a chance at, right? Like sometimes it's really like about believing in your ability to achieve what you want to achieve. That's the ending of a cycle of doubt, right? So we also have the bottom of the deck is 22, Library. Take control of your own narrative. I'm hearing that like the way that like all of the blessings that come into your life, the key is to take control of your own narrative. And when you start defining like your life or your reality like through your own lens and through, what's the word? The word that I'm hearing is like through your own like storybook. That's the one. Like, you know, like pop-up storybooks, I think that's the one in particular. But like as she's dancing in a book, it's almost like all she is just like a puppet in a pop-up storybook. But the truth is like you're not a puppet in a pop-up storybook. Like you're the one who writes the story. You're the one who gets to create that for you. You're the one who gets to take control of the narrative and end those narratives that like no longer serve you, because it was inevitable. For you to achieve the life that you want, like you have to stop telling yourself a certain story. And that is how all of these blessings will just flood into your life, and you won't even understand like how it hit you almost. I'm hearing cut the deck, and it says, look, 31, universe, we're all just stardust. And it says if you feel like there's a super like, you know, like crazy cosmic way that things are supposed to work out, or like some people get really hung up on like the twin flame thing. I know I'm not immune to that within like relationships. The actual fact of the matter is that like, you know, we're all just stardust at the end of the day, right? And like it's not that serious. Like we're all like different that way. Like we're all like our own people, and like we're all made out of the same stuff. It's not like anything's like super special or anything. Like, you know, it's like your decision to live your life the way you want to live your life. And like it's like the thing that she's saying is like everything is objectively neutral. Like every single decision is objectively neutral. It's how you choose to perceive the stardust that makes it magic, or that makes it something that you don't like, and sometimes it feels wrong, right? And if it doesn't feel good, then it's not for you. Unless like it's a growing pain, because sometimes it is a growing pain. But thank you for letting me read for you. I hope that that helped. It was so much fun to get some advice from Hekate. I have a feeling there was... I thought I put a card in backwards. I feel super silly, to be honest. I'm probably being silly. But I honestly just would like to maybe give you guys a peek at the deck for really quick. Maybe that's what's happening. This is kind of like just a little like look through of like what the cards look like. Like, I'm not going to show you all of them, like, but just like give you little peeks at some of them. Like, it's such a beautiful, colorful deck. You know what I mean? Like, love it. Highly recommend it. We are gonna pop over back to the YouTube world. Mr. Rogers, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Skeptic Solstice. How do I get advice from Hekate? Let's check it. Let's check it. Hey Hekate, how do we get advice from you? Asks Skeptic Solstice. That's the one. She said this one. Library. Oof. It says take control of your own narrative. That's been a theme from tonight's reading, honestly. Number 22. Take control of your own narrative. That's how we get advice from Hekate. The more we start taking control of the actions that we take and owning that we have decisions that we can make and be who we want to be in this life and how we want to show up, like, you have to choose how you dress, right? Like, you have to choose how you present yourself. You have to choose, like, why you do what you do. You have, or you're just kind of like going on autopilot, right? Or you're just kind of like a puppet, she says. If you don't like make your own narrative, like, you just become a puppet, right? You have to kind of like snip those strings, if that makes sense. And number 14 on the back, it says, we weave together the crown you deserve, meaning that, like, the best way for you to, like, get advice from Hekate is to start building your own crown, and she will show up to show you how to put it together and how to do it step by step. She's like somebody who we walk with when we, you know, are concerned about our well-being, but we know that we deserve better, and we choose a better outcome for ourselves by, you know, rewriting the narrative for who we are. She says cut the deck again. 26, Feather, think first before you judge. Yeah, that's kind of like I'm hearing the key to it all, is like to just think first before you judge, you know, like stop being so like in a rush to know like what's the truth, the fact of the matter, trying to get down to the bottom of it all. Like, it's sometimes you gotta like meet it in the middle, and like sometimes you gotta cut it out, I'm hearing. But like when you have like faith, you know, and you just like kind of observe things and you're not so quick to judge, that's when you actually learn more magic than you could have ever discovered. And that's how Hekate wants you to work with witchcraft. And that's how I work with witchcraft too. And I think that's what honestly really makes my craft a lot different than like most dragon witches that I've met, but also just like witches that don't work with Hekate, right? It's like when I work with her, like there's such a mysterious element to the magic that she like encourages like us, I think, to follow, right? And that's one of self-discovery, and one of like maybe not necessarily following rituals necessarily, but it's one of discovering like the magic within you, in the sense of like, what are you worthy of? What are you capable of? What can you really, you know, bring forth into your world when you choose to make it so? That's really the lesson I'm getting of how to get advice from Hekate. So thank you so much for letting me answer. That was so much fun. Thank you. We're popping back over to the TikTok. Hi Tyra, welcome to the live. Welcome back to the Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. We are doing free readings today from the Believe Your Own Magic Oracle deck. All you gotta do is ask a question. That's all we're doing today. I will learn how to operate the TikTok in a better way, because I'm sure there's a way I could like pin a message or something that like says what we're doing. But anyway, we will get there one day. Is this a cult? Oh my gosh, that's so silly. Nah, my friend, we're just pulling cards live. May I please have a general rating? Yes, my friend, thank you for joining us today. Tyra on TikTok asks, am I saying your name right? I feel like I'm not. Is it Tira? Anyway, please let me know if I'm saying it right. I'm hearing that we need to shuffle one more time for your general reading. That's the one. We have Tower, number 3. Unplug and relax for a spell. Generally, I think like she's saying like, go find a cafe that you really enjoy that you can go to once a week or once every 2 weeks. And if that's not something that you do, then find a way to like make a certain like tea ritual for like you within your life, right? Like, or like some sort of like coffee that you just like, you know, enjoy to yourself every morning. Maybe you read a book when you do it, or when you drink like the tea or whatever. And yeah, that's so funny. The bottom of the deck says the way that you're gonna like relax is by 32 escapist, come home to yourself. And the reason why escapist is like the word that I want to focus on here is because some people will always consider you an escapist when you choose to come home to yourself. I find this to be such a fascinating experience as a human, is that like a lot of the times when you choose to be yourself, you just make people bewildered. They're like, what is happening? They're like, I have no idea. Tierra, thank you. Or Tira, man, help me. But anyway, like if you look at this picture, there's like a very stark difference between like the cozy, like fabrics on the wall and her with her pillows on like a bed with like blankets and cozy pajamas and a book with a sparkling book. And then on this with her being upside down on a brick wall, but still with her crystals. But she also has that tea that I'm talking about, and like a little plant while she does like, you know, some like yoga. And like that stark difference is what I'm hearing is the point of it is, yeah. The point of having like that balance of a stark difference between like coming home to who you are and allowing like yourself to unplug and relax. Like it's really scary to allow yourself to unplug and relax, but it can be really fun and exciting to come home to yourself. But it can also be really scary the way that people treat you when you start realizing who you are and you start choosing to show up that way. And that's kind of like what happens when we unplug. And the whole point of that, my friends, is like Phoenix, how's that for happily ever after? When you choose to make those decisions of like coming home to yourself, and you choose to make the decisions of unplugging and relaxing for yourself, you create new opportunities of how to live your life. And it's like, how's that for happily ever after? Like, I think that's pretty incredible, honestly. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today and for letting me ask Time some questions for you. We are popping over back to YouTube. We're going to do a couple more questions here before we head off for the night. But I really do appreciate all of you guys for jumping in today and letting me read for you with with Hekate. Sorry, this is how you know I'm getting a little tired. But cheers, my friends, to all of you guys who are joining me today. Like, you guys really didn't have to like do that. Like, I could just be talking to the void, but because of all of you guys, I get to hang out with you, and you guys are such beautiful people. So thank you so much. But I really do appreciate it. We will be asking, like, I think 2 or 3 more questions, she says. Hey, Mama Dragon. Yeah, Tiamat's jumping in. I mean, she is my matron, so she's always on my mind. So do forgive me. Let's see, Dar. Is it worth the trying to invest in this connection further, or is it over? What a good question. What a good question. Thank you guys. Welcome to the live, my friends. No, you did not, Sage. We're asking a few more questions before I head on out. We are asking questions with Hekate today. She's saying tap on the deck to cleanse it. We're tapping it with some labradorite. This is one of my favorite ones. It's just a really giant like labradorite pond stone. Reminds me of like the stone from Dragon Tales. Yeah, it's one of my favorites for sure. But here we go. Is it worth the trying to invest in this connection further, or is it over? Dar, let's find out. Let us find out. This one. The truth is, if it's worth the connection or if it's over will only be clear once you take a look at this. 16 bitch fire. Stand up for yourself. If the connection is right for you, Dar, then you will be able to stand up for yourself in a way that's healthy, that you can say what you mean, that you can mean what you say, in a way that you don't say it mean, and they will be able to hear you, and they will be able to meet you with that, and they won't criticize you or shame you for that, and they will help work with you, you know, as a coupling, or like as like a partnership, or as like, you know, a team, you know, like. And the way that that's gonna work is 45, throne. Your potential is endless. The way that we realize we have power to stand up for ourselves is realizing that like our potential is endless and we can have ultimately anything that we desire if we just choose to pursue something in a certain way, you know, as much as we try to. We could, maybe there's certain things like that you might never feel like you could achieve, but like you really never know what's possible unless you try. And that's the whole point, right? Like, because when you like meet yourself in the middle between your fear and your fantasies, you'll find the lighthouse. Don't doubt your worth. I'm always enough. Like, you have to realize that like the path was always meant to be just for you. And this is something that Hekate is telling me everybody needs to know right now. This life was always just for you, okay? And like, if the people in your life, if the practices in your life, if the jobs or professions in your life, if the, you know, studies in your life are not adding to that experience of your worth, if they don't make you feel like you are being fulfilled, if they are not enabling you to grow, if they are hindering you in any way, then it's time to let it go, is what Hekate is telling me. It's really important for you to remember that you are able to cultivate a space from your own desires. That means like, how do you want your space to look like? Do you like want your car to be a mess? Do you want your room to be a mess? Maybe you should clean that shit. Maybe you should make it look the way that you want it before you even think about certain things, because that helps you be present in who you are and discover who you really are, right? And like, once you discover who you really are, that's how you're able to stand up for yourself. And you do that because your potential is endless and that's what you deserve. So I hope that that helps, because that's what Hekate was saying for your question. But I thank you very, very much, my friend. We're popping back over to the TikTok land. We have Sage. My question is, are my dragon guides trying to contact me? What a good one. We've already had one of those today. So I'm glad that the dragons are coming through. Shout out to our dragons and our dragon guardians. But let's see, Hekate. Sage asks, well, are the dragon guides trying to contact me? I'm not quite sure. You can see what Hekate has to say. This one. This is really cute. This is actually the face of the deck. It says, 1, princess, you can be your own knight. This is really significant in a dragon question, and let me tell you why. So Hekate says that, you know, dragons are so unique and different in the way that they show up in our lives that we have to realize that the best way to know truly if dragons are reaching out to us is if we feel like we are emboldened to take more brave decisions and be more daring with things that we try. Maybe things that are out of the ordinary, or things that might shock people if they found out that we are curious about, or that we resonate with, like, oh no, can't tell crew I'm into the Azura Dragon Feathers lives, right? Like but like, when you are working with dragons, like, you have to understand that it's a balance sometimes of being the princess and your own knight in the story. And if you're able to do that for yourself, then chances are dragons are already fascinated with you and watching, because everyone deserves dragons, and that's what they tell me. At least the dragons that I work with, the ones that are benevolent and want to help you grow and want to connect with you to help better the fate of our planet, right? Like, they really just care mostly about the earth, you know what I mean? They want you to take care of the earth, and it's because they are the spiritual personifications of the earth, at least in my perspective and my experience, right? But everyone's experience will be different. I'm just doing my best from, you know, my perspective for this reading. But it says, Hekate says, like, when it comes to working with these guardians that you suspect to be around, that may be closer than you realize. 36 is the number, and it says gold. You don't need someone else to fix you. And she's basically letting me know that, like, you don't need Hekate and I to tell you about your journey with dragons, because you already know the story deep in your heart. All you have to do is allow yourself to believe and explore, and that's kind of the point of dragons too. For those of you guys who don't know, I am a draconic witch and I've been working with dragons for 20 plus years. It's quite a while, but it's been a journey that I've always believed in dragons since I was a kid and never let anyone tell me otherwise. And the dragons are saying, this is how you know you're on the right track, is because you're ready for a voyage. You already have all the answers, right? Like Hekate is telling me, like, you already know that the dragons are there for you or not, like, and you have a feeling that they are, or you have a feeling that they're not, and either way, you're right. So thank you for listening to that reading. It was super fun for that one. I love asking dragon questions, but I have never really asked Hekate about dragon questions for people before, so that's super, super fun. What do you mean? Did I delete your question? I don't think I saw your question, my friend. I don't see it, my friend. Oh, how do I know Hekate's guiding me through my low moments? That's not exactly okay. So when I work with Hekate, I genuinely work with Hekate for like how I can use like magic. She's kind of like my my guide in witchcraft, if that makes sense. At least that's been my connection with Hekate. I'm sure other people have a different experience with her. But when I work with Hekate in terms of like crossroads, for example, like crossroad readings is something that I've always done with Hekate for my own practice. Like in my my path is like a witch, like ever since I was a kid and stuff, because I've been doing this for a long time. And when it comes to working with Hekate specifically, like I know that she's with me mostly from the experience that I have of working with her in the covens that I was in. The coven I was in as a kid, it was like a local coven that like primarily focused on Hekate, and that's also why I have like this tattoo too. I like really realized during that time that that's why I wanted to work with Hekate. And during those connections and during those rituals, I really like developed like an understanding of her energy and how she was gonna like act as like a teacher in my practice. And so she basically just helps me believe in myself and my ability to, you know, be a witch and practice magic and not be afraid, you know? Like it's honestly a really big gift to have been able to work with Hekate. So I'm really grateful that I've been able to do readings for her today. And I think we're gonna do one more from YouTube land if we have any questions. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. How to know that Hekate is calling me. Prasad asks, as a male, is it okay to follow her and not practice magic? Oof, that is the absolute best question I think we've received tonight. Everybody leave a like on the live for that question. As a male, is it okay to follow her and not practice magic? Beautifully, beautifully done. So how to know if Hekate is calling you, and how to know as a male, is it okay to follow her and not practice magic? Hekate, what do you got for us? I think this is the best question to end the live on. So let's get it. Just a shuffle one more time. That one. This is great. So it says, Hekate is for everybody. Yes, let's not anyone forget that Hekate is absolutely for everybody. How to know that Hekate is calling me. 29, feast. Slow down and celebrate yourself. That's a great way to know if Hekate is calling to you. Like if you feel like, you know, you're wanting to celebrate, you know, who you are, your creativity, what you can bring with your magic, what you can, you know, accomplish with your skills, knowing that like, you know, it's like not a matter of making everything perfect. Like that's not why we practice witchcraft. Practicing witchcraft is more of a relationship with ourselves, with the earth, and with like our own individual power and our own individual empowerment, you know? A sense of justice has always been tied to witchcraft, of course, which is why like when you feel the sense to slow down and reflect on things that you've been through, that's another huge reason that like you might have a like deity like Hekate reaching out, because she's one that tends to work with people when they slow down to reflect on the things that they need to celebrate for themselves. And the best way to as a male to follow her and not practice magic. Oh, as a male follower, is it okay to follow her and not practice magic? And she says, absolutely. That's not her only aspect. And she says, number 40, mourning. The world awaits you. Know that the best way that you can embrace Hekate as a male and not practicing magic is by choosing to see the wonder in the world around you. That doesn't mean you're practicing witchcraft. That just means that you maybe have a more lighthearted like lens that you look at the world through. Not in a sense of like, you know, rose-colored glasses, because you're not sugarcoating anything. Like the whole point about like working with Hekate is about believing in the unknown and trusting what like, you know, the unknown may bring us. And that is not a practice of witchcraft or magic, and anyone can do that. And Hekate's for anybody. So thank you guys so much for tuning into the live. That was an amazing question, my friend. Thanks for letting Hekate and I read for you. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful time wherever they are. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for tuning in with me today. I had so much fun, and I cannot wait to see you guys next time. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky, little hatchling. So much fun. Okay, anyway, we'll be back next time, probably with more mermaid messages. So until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful night, wonderful whatever it may be, wherever you are, and I will see you soon. Bye!